Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 11 of Klatria. Oh yes, we are getting tantalizingly close to 20k. And while we wait to do that, we come down and we look at the town we made last time. Look how well developed it is. Like, everyone just moved in immediately. Such a nice place. And damn, I am quite amazed by how much traffic there is already coming up to it. But so far that's not a problem. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to change the map in a big way. It's not going to look the same after we're done with it. And why is that? Because it is going to be crisscrossed with no less than 6 train lines. And these are not going to be like these small lines here. They are going to go to every single corner of our city. So what we're going to do is we're going to hop over into Paint, and I'm going to show you how this is going to go. Okay, here we are in Paint, and here is our train station right down here like that. Now, we want this to connect to every possible spot that it could. So, starting from the left, we're going to have one that comes around, goes down at an angle, and then goes along the water, more or less. Okay. Our next line, after that, we're going to have one that comes up, serves all these towns, and then bends upwards to go to this area. Now, following that, we're going to have one that comes through this valley here, which so far doesn't have much in it, but that might change. And then it's going to go up, and it's going to hit this town, the Broad District, which we never actually connected to rails yet. Now, next up, this will be the one that will connect to what we have been calling our secondary downtown, which will have a station right about here, which will serve as a mini hub, and we'll probably have other things coming off of here too at some point, but that is beyond today's program. So anyway, we are going to have one that comes and goes out like this, and it's going to come up to here, and it might go up here, who knows. Now, I had a bit of a conflict deciding where the last train was going to go, because the two options were it could go along here, or it could take a bend here and go down. You see, we already built some of that track. So I think I'm going to take the controversial choice of actually making this a two branch line. Like, it comes off the station and then it has a station here and branches off. So yes, I do intend to make all these lines in this episode. If it's super long, it'll be 2 episodes. I don't know. But we're going to have some fun with it, and it's going to be a lot of sped up construction. And I do promise you, once we are done with all of it, we will go on a train ride of each and every one of these lines with day and night and dynamic weather active. So, that's going to be a lot of fun. Alright, so here we are, back in the game, and we are going to go to the spot where it all happens, which is, of course, our station. Now, I want the tracks to come out and then bend the way they want to go. We are fortunate that it is already below the level of the road, but I think I want to make it just a little lower. So, this is going to be the area where the trains come out to. Now, this road here is going to exist, as will many other roads that we're going to worry about, but we need to hit pause on this. Where are you going? It's a dog. Oh, I guess this person works there. But anyway, first of all, we need to hit pause because this is going to be a little bit hairy. Oh, what? There we go. We can even demolish some of this. So we're going to begin with a few gentle bends 3 to one side, 3 to the other side. Just to get things started. Now we need to have... This is where I'm not so sure how things are going to work. So we've got to take this. Will it be nice to me? Will it be a jerk? It's going to be nice to me. So we have a little blumpity-dump over here. But I fear that this blumpity-dump might not be a permanent situation, because these roads that we're going to have coming over to the sides are going to challenge the blumpity-dump. And now I don't know what I'm talking about. But what we will do is go nuts and go to the corner of the map, because I'm trying to bring something up on the other window, on the other monitor here. 1 second. Yes, I need my plan active while we do this. Okay. So we're going to begin the first line here, and we're going to keep things pretty quiet. We're just going to build this line out, and like I said, it's going to come here, going to come down diagonally, it's going to go under here, through here, and probably end over here somewhere. Also keep in mind we have this train to think about. This is going to get passengers into our city, but that will connect probably to the second line. So let's get started and finally go fast. Alright, we now have our absolutely insane first rail line. Oh gosh, it is wild. Now, we do need to give water and power to all of these things, and keep in mind, one of the main ideas of this line is that we don't need to actually have anything where the stations are yet to be able to build it, because it's something to grow into. Remember, this style is what I like to call hybrid organic, which means it's mostly organic, but there's stuff like this that is sort of planned from the jump to kind of get things started. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Now, I do kind of want to go with our rainbow idea, so this will be the purple line. And we just gotta go here, find ourselves a nice purple. And we should have, somewhere along this line, yep, we're gonna have some bright purple trains. Now, we do have some residential demand, and I think the thing to do in situations such as this is to very logically fill out the demand in the areas in which we have most recently built. So I think I want to go ahead and create some happy little stuff right here in our town. So let's do that. Alright, there is our new area connected to this town. I like how the grid pattern gradually starts to come apart when it's here. We're going to the official borders of Linden Heights will stretch out a little bit. I also like the sheer chaos of this area, but we'll see how it goes. There's always every chance we might change things in the future, but so far it's looking really good. Alright, we are going to hop right in to the blue line, which is the next one up. Now, it's going to go, and it's going to travel up to this area. Now, I do think it's going to be time to add a new station to the black line. And this station will also handle trains from our new blue line. It's the black and blue station. Isn't that funny? Okay. Well, we are going to once again go with some sped up time. So, enjoy. Alright, well, talk about that for craziness. We have, and I didn't realize this at the time, this is a triple line station. The black and white line comes here. So this is really going to test the limits of what we can do with one train station. I have every reason to suspect that we're going to be rerouting some stuff. Actually, this shares 3 lines, or 3 stops with the white line. Pretty crazy. But until there's a problem, we won't worry too much about it. So far everything is looking okay. We come here. This is going to be the blue line. Lighten it up a little bit. It's a little bit of a purplish, but yeah, there we go. I like that. Purple line already has some passengers on it. But yeah, look at this absolute insanity over here. We will have to see how that goes. But people are using the station quite a bit. In fact, it might be worth it to pay attention to our lines here, especially the white and black. So if we look at that, we see it's already exceeding the number of people that it can use, or it can have. So we're going to bump the trains up to 7. And if we look at the white line, we see things are pretty good still, but we'll give them one more train just to be sure. And every other line is not too severe at the moment, so it's okay. Now, this guy right here is a little crazy, and in terms of realism, this might break credulity. You know, something like this might not actually be made, but I don't know. I think it's worthwhile. I think it's okay. Now, this is insane. I mean, this is not a big place. So I don't know what the deal is here, but we're gonna do some work right now on this. And by what I mean is we are going to make a timed traffic light. And this is pretty simple because we're only going to have a few segments rather. Like the first one will be 10 seconds for this. And the question is, do we want this to be separate from that, or do we want it to be the same? I think cars are pretty much going straight across and turning right, so I don't think they conflict too much. So we'll make it all one step. For this next step, we will turn these red and turn these green, and also have 10 seconds. I am thinking if we do that, that should help things out here. Now, you might think this should be more than 10 seconds, and to that I say, well, we don't know quite yet what the situation is going to be. Ooh, I think I see part of the problem here, and it's kind of silly, but nonetheless, it's real. Like, these nodes being this close together is actually creating a problem, which, like, you wouldn't think, because, like, what's the big deal? But no, if, like, a truck sees that there's not enough room for it to go through, it's not going to go through. So, apologies to everyone who lives out here, but you're going to have to rebuild your homes and stuff. Alright. Now this node's a little bit close to there, but I'd rather have it be closer to there than anything else. So, let's see. Nope, we're still where we should be, but we do need to reconfigure this. This can still do that, and this, like, I feel if people want to go left, they can go through here. That's fine. So no, it'll just go right. So, oops. We'll take this. We'll turn it back on, and we'll just start with this step. And what we should be seeing now is a lot smoother movement. Like, see this truck? He didn't get hung up back there so much. So that's good. And I think that's going to cause things to clear out a bit. And if it doesn't, we can just work on it again in the future. But for the time being, let's very carefully, by which I mean not carefully at all, redo these zones. And it'll be like nothing ever happened. But yeah, an extraordinary amount of traffic. And as you might have noticed, I also put a pedestrian bridge because the train is kind of disconnected from the city. So this will be helpful. And also, this is, well, number one, this was made so that crosswalks can be here, but number two, it was made so that the path would have, or people would be able to turn around, and the path would have something to connect to. So we're already very popular. Like, you see how much traffic just a small area creates, which is why, you know, it's going to be very serious when we start making bigger places. And yeah, things are moving along a little bit. Although, we will come back to see if things clear up in the future. Now, we have spoken about building near rail lines. So, I think we can do that in a few places. So, fast mode, please. Alright, I think that's enough zoning to keep things satiated for a little while longer. It's almost like I created a whole new town down here. Now, I kept a buffer along this road here, and I've also put traffic lights here. I feel like there's going to be some different work going on here in the future. Oh, and as you can see, the work that I did here has already caused things to entirely clear up, just a-okay. So I think we're doing alright on that front. And also, I just like the look of this street. Like, isn't that a cool street? This feels very natural and organic. It's almost like we found it. We didn't even have to make it. But yeah, all these guys are worrying about educated workers. Yeah, we have our libraries and our schools and everything, so everything should be fine. But we could give these guys a public library. They're big. So it's going to be like out of town a little bit. But hey, anything worth doing is worth going to. And it's not like it's that far. I mean, come on. You can, it's like just a few block walk. Also, this park is probably seeing quite a few people. And yeah, we have a whole area under here, a new road to go over here. I want to control access to this though, so I'm being a little cautious with what I do here. Okay. Well, so far I don't see problems happening here, although I do see some issues. Whoa. Okay. Bump that up. So this is the kind of thing that I was worried about. There is a bit of a traffic jam waiting to come in, because you have like one train of each line coming through, and now you have multiple trains of the same line coming through. Well. Oh no, I wanted to take that line, I guess. And for some reason, he waited for him, even though he should have been next. Yeah, you get little things like that, little quirks of the system, where it doesn't necessarily go the way that you think it ought to. Now let's see if this train gets here before, well, eventually this train is going to leave. Because very often, like, a slow person will come all the way along here and get in the front. Oh, but you see another train has arrived here. And this train is not going anywhere. It's very suspicious. Alright, who's going to win the race? Who's going to win? Oh! He tried to go Yeah, it is a bit of a mess. I will admit to you that. But it's not quite yet to the stage where I think we have to intervene with things. But it might be soon, because that's a lot of cars on the same track. And also this crossing might be impacted. So, I figured out what was wrong with this. Somehow, the white line had two stations, or had two stops in the same place, which caused the train to glitch out. Now, I figured the easiest way to fix that was to completely recreate the white line. So I basically deleted it, I made it again, exactly the same, and I ran the simulation a little bit just to make sure that everything was working as it should, and as you can see, it does. But that doesn't mean that the problems that we have are over, because we still have 3 train lines using one station. And although I said it was working out just fine, and it is, it's working out fine for the city that we have now. In the future, it's going to get busier, we're going to need more trains on these lines, and this congestion is going to become an actual problem. So, in order to do something about that, I think we are going to build another station. We're going to divert this line just to the south to have another station for the blue line. So let's do that now. Alright, and there we go. As you probably saw, we did have to delete and remake the blue line, but I think that should work out fine. I don't see really any problems with that. Now we have a direct connection between the two rails here, and we have the trains simply joining the track. Now, there is still a zone where 3 different rail lines share the same track, but since there's not any junctions like right before the stations, I think we should be fine. Like, there are no stations that all 3 trains have to take along this route. So yeah, it's going to take a while for people to sort of realize that these these lines are here and they're functional, or maybe not. Maybe they'll happen right away if you live here, or if you live here, you know. But people down there, also these old trains. These are from the, when you delete a line, the trains remain, and they go until they can find a station to go to and disappear. So I assume that this guy is going to disappear at one of these stations up here. Don't know which one, probably this one. Yep, see, he's gone. I guess all his passengers vanished too. So, that's not spooky at all, vanishing passengers. But, yeah, we probably don't need to keep watching it, but, you know, even if I fully know it's working, it's always a bit ominous to me if I don't, and I don't think anyone's going to be coming down here anytime soon. Well, I guess some people could, but, you know, there's really no reason to go down to the hub yet. But, yeah, I assume that some people will want to get on this train to go further on, but they might make that transition over here, because that might make more sense. I don't know. It's a good thing to experiment with sometime. This would make me happy to see at least one person use this walkway at some point. But we're not going to be too overly picky about it. It's completely fine. If no one does ever, then I will start to worry. But anyway, we need to move on to the next line. Now, the next line, if you recall our little map, is going to go through here through this valley, and then it's going to go up to our town here, and that will be its final stop. So we're actually going to build this in reverse. We're going to begin the station here. We're going to make it go down into the ground, and then it's going to loop around and come off. So I hope you're ready for some fast motion. Alright, and there we have it. The green line has been built. Now, a couple fun features about this line. It has to vault over the white and black lines here, and then it becomes sort of like a trans-valley road. It just goes right through the valley on its way to go underground and scoop up and around and get up to the top of the mountain. So, the wonderful people of the Broad District finally have a way to access the rest of the rail network. Man, at one point, whoa, we have dead people all over the place here. Let's give them a couple of thingamadoodles, and they will get to where they're trying to go. So, yeah, that's good. Good for them. So one thing I was tempted to do, and I might do, is you see there's like a nice little thing here that's just begging to be joined in to there. So I think I'm going to make that now because of the rule of fun. Alright, and there we have it. A nice little intersection down here, and it is balanced so that none of the roads is considered the main one, and only one of them will go at a time. But yeah, that will connect these areas. We might even have people using that to get up here, but we'll see. We'll find out. No one's going to be coming over here for a while, because there's nothing there. But as you see, our residential demand is getting very high, and I'm thinking we actually want to possibly consider building a new town. Yes, a brand new town. Nothing too crazy, but a little place for people to live, and I think it would be natural to build it around this rail station. So let's go do that. Alright, there is our little town. We're just going to enclose it within some bubble, and it has a default name. Like always, names are accepted. And I like how the streets are just so random here. Like, this town exists just because it was a confluence of streets and railroads and things. But I feel like it's a town that does and will have its own identity. And of course, people will be able to easily access the rest of the world from here now that they have this rail connection. And I don't doubt that people will walk to other towns, as we live, or they live, very close to everything. So, speaking of which, I think it's not wrong to want to commission a few roads here, although stupid power lines have to be built. It's the bane of my existence, doing all these power things. So, yeah, that's just something we have to deal with. And I really don't want this to have, like, 2 lights right in a row, but don't know a better way of dealing with that than that. Although, I do have an idea that I can share with you now. Did you know you can make linked traffic lights? Like these 2 right here. We can set up a timed traffic light, and if we want to have these 2 going for, let's say, 8 seconds each, we can do that. And then if we want this one going for 10 seconds each, well, we can do that. And I think that will be enough steps for that. And it's fun just to sometimes just sit and watch it go. Like, oh. And there it goes. It's turning. And now everyone's going to zip along for a little bit. And then, wouldn't you know it, it's turning red. And now people on these other 2 roads, they get to go. So that's a little thing that we can do. And I think that will be fun. People aren't going to be really going up here for a while. Although, you know, like we do, we have, well, garbage trucks are going. But as you can see, 94 people were on this train coming from the Broad District. So we are having great success already. Okay, so I gotta point out that I was a little bit, when just like zooming around my city, I decided, hey, there's like a canyon here, so I'm just gonna throw a little street in here. Now it's a street just because the slope is too steep for roads. So that goes down here, and then there's another one up here, which is a full road, and it goes up to this area. They're just placeholders for the future. It's really all I did off camera. But now it's time to build this one, this rail line, which will in fact go into our, what I've been calling our secondary downtown, which is kind of its own city that's going to be up here. Now, I've resisted building anything up here for a while, but today we changed that, if only by a little bit, because I'm not exactly sure what's going to be here, how it will go, but one thing that I have decided is we are going to have a hub here, and there's a lot of new hubs that I haven't used yet, but this is the one we'll be using. Now, this has multiple monorail and train connections. So, what I was thinking, well, I won't tell you the full plan of what I was thinking for this new area, but it does involve these monorails. But the key thing for now is the rail lines themselves. So, how about we work on that for now, starting from here. we go. A little viaduct to pass over things. And as for what these roads all mean, I'm going to temporarily stretch out one of these roads as an avenue. Oop, there we go. And this can be considered a major way into the city. And we'll see what developments that brings. This just writes itself right here. Yep, there we go. So, now there is officially a way to get there. I feel like we need to do some connecting up to get these things all squared away. Now let's be cheeky. Let's be a little bit fun with this, because I think this can take advantage of the terrain to make a nice little bridge. Sure, the bridge can go at right angles, but I actually think we can go this way. And is anyone else hanging out here? Yeah, you are. So you can go like that. Yeah, this is actually one of the shorter routes by distance. But if we do indeed build another downtown up here, it will be a well-traveled route, so it's all right. And if we're going to keep with the theming, we're going to have it be the yellow line. Give it a nice yellow, a nice bright yellow. Alright, it's the school bus line, you could say. Those don't need to be powered yet, or watered. We'll figure it out as we get there. Although one thing we can do, make sure we have a connecting little thingy thing. There we go. I always like to make sure that we can access stuff from all sides. And yes, it's a completely separate track than over here, but it's a pretty easy walk if someone wants to switch lines. Also, I didn't think about this, but there's not a single at-grade crossing on the yellow line, as opposed to everything else. And you probably noticed I made a little tunnel under here, because that was a lot more sensible than dealing with all this stuff. So, there we go. Okay, so we have this place, and just before we do anything else, I'd like to just simply build, I guess you could call these ghost ramps or ghost tunnels or whatever. But the idea is this is going to be for possible future expansion, because I might want to have a train line, for instance, just go like through all these hilly areas, connecting everything up there together. But we're not going to be worrying about that for now. What we will be worrying about, though, is our demand is really high, and you see we are indeed crossing 20,000 population here in a moment, which means we can start building in our downtown. However, I am committed to finishing all these railroads before we do that. Now, where to build? I think I actually want to build way up here in this little valley, because we already have a train station here, so we already have the infrastructure for something to exist. So let's do that. We're going to build something here. You'll probably see 20,000 be crossed here in a moment. But yeah, let's do it. Alright, there we go. A little town called the Fawn District, which has its own distinctive, a little bit bluer roads, and might as well upgrade this one to fit in. It is natural to build towns along train lines. Just makes the most sense, I think. And yes, I did put a little bit of industrial, even though right now we don't really need it. But I feel that eventually it will be developed. It will be wanted, so we'll just have it there. And I'm just finishing up these little areas. And we have power, we have water. So everything is going to be developed, and it's going to be good. So we'll just call this. After the town, of course, we can and will change names if anyone has any ideas. As you can see, we also added a nice road that goes up the mountain. Not sure exactly how this will be used. Maybe people will go up to go back down and around, and to go right and through here. And yes, my crazy road here is also something I have built. I won't connect it until I do something with this area, because this area, if I'm not mistaken yet, has two different... Well, actually, if you really look at this area, it has three different types of industrial possibilities. So that's pretty cool. Alright, anyway, it's time to get on to our next rail line, which is going to be this boy down here. So, bringing up my map to see where it's going to go. It's going to go up here to Garland, and then it's going to make a turn through these hills, come up through Victoria, before heading off into here. So, we're going to begin that now. Alright, and there we have it. Now, these stations might be far apart, but don't discount these people's ability to walk long distances. And look at that, it just barely doesn't reach. Gotta love the way power works in this game. Although apparently water does reach, so that's good. I would think instead of just plopping more stupid power lines everywhere, we can just simply zone it. And as things develop, the area will naturally go together. This was a fun line to make because of all the little things I got to do, and you saw I made some more roads here, and there's like all sorts of potential towns that exist out there. And you see this does join up with this other rail line for a while, so we're going to have a shared bit of track. So let's come back here. This will be the orange line, so it's going to be the closest to being the color that is already selected for it. But yeah, I think this one station over here near Victoria will most likely be pretty busy. As will this one. Boop. Okay. Well, let's take a look here. I do want to adjust the hue somewhat. And here we have the orange line. Yay. Look how pretty it is. Alright, well, you know what it's time for now. The final line, which is actually a pair of lines, which is going to go out here, branch off, with one of them coming down here, and one of them kind of going up there. So, remember, we will have a kind of a monorail coming out this way, so we want to be a little bit cautious of exactly what we're doing. But I think we'll be pretty okay just to sort of wing things as they go. So yeah, let's get started. And there you have it. All our rail lines have now been built. And you see the trick to doing what I did here, where you have two lines coming to the same station, is that I started one line out going in and the other line in going out, and that causes the trains to be on opposite sides of the platform. So that's basically a way to get a free extra line using one of these other platforms. So yeah, it's very good so far. I am quite happy with this. Let's see, are we sure that this is still powered? Still watered. Okay, yeah. I mean, obviously, there's not much reason to come to this station yet. Most of the other places you can access through these lines you can get by the first three lines. But yeah, now we have all these train lines snaking across our area. And They might not be picking up that many customers yet, but over time, they will become quite busy, because this is sort of like the skeleton that the meat will be put onto. As you can see, for the most part, with the exception of the blue and green lines, everything is below even the smallest of the lines that we had already. So it's worthwhile to come here and just make sure that everything is going okay. There are some pretty high numbers, especially right here. So we're going to put a 10th train on here, just to make sure that everyone's getting served. As for the black line, it looks to be still doing okay as it is. Yeah, doing stuff like this is important just to be able to know that everyone's being served. Now, this one, might as well tick up another train. And I want to do this, just gently and slowly tick up the number of passengers, or the number of trains we have to serve all these passengers. Because right now it's pretty low. But like I said, it's going to get larger very quickly. And yes, we have our station going on here, and we now have our 21,000 people for downtown. So it's very exciting. I think, since we have some commercial demand, it makes a lot of sense to just put some here, near to our stations. And we might as well slap some over here by this crazy yellow station we have going on. Why not? I mean, people are going to be coming over here anyways, and might as well give them something to come here for. Okay, so I made the decision at some point during the recording of this that I was not, in fact, going to separate this into multiple episodes, and rather we'd just have a huge movie where we watch all this come into fruition. So it's quite exciting. We're going to have an entire movie-length thing. And now that everything is done, I will do as I've promised. I will have a complete ride-through of all our new lines with the weather turned on and with the day and night cycle. So I hope you enjoy. there you have it. A ride on all 6 of our new lines. Oh yes, and a very misty good morning to everyone. Man, after an episode this long, it really does feel like you stayed up all night, and now the sun is coming up on a new day. So yeah, it's very nice just to look around the city, see how lovely everything looks. You know, there's a lot of dead people going on. Do you want a bonus on top of the bonus? I think you do. Let's watch a hearse. Why not? That'll be a little bit of an extra bonus. And there we have it. That was a lot of fun. And there he goes again, because there's a lot of dead bodies in our town. Oh man, I tell you what. This town, this game, the way that just everything is simulated and everything moves around, I mean, I don't take this for granted, you know? Back when I was a kid, you had your SimCity 2000, your little sprite animations of those little blue cars going doot 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 on the roads. And now you have all this. Yeah, my 10-year-old self would have lost his mind at this game. It's quite spectacular. And I know that Skylines 2 is coming out relatively soon, and it's probably going to improve on this game, hopefully, in just about every way. But we should not take for granted what a really great achievement this game is and everything that it's done. Okay, so as the sun rises on a new day, we will finally end this marathon episode, which I have no idea how long this is going to be, but next time we are finally going to start working on our capital. And more specifically, we are going to create a road that goes around our capital. It's going to be basically a big bypass that lets everyone who doesn't have business in the center of town to skip it and go around. We might not build the whole thing, but we'll definitely build at least like this part of it. So that's for next time. So thank you for watching. I hope this was enjoyable for you. And, well, that's it. So, see you later. Goodbye.